RC. Well, as you can see from that opening shot, there's a bit of a rail maintenance work going on the layout. This length of track through here, I ended up pulling up, removing, because the fact was when I rolled these 60-foot high cubes through, the track around here tightened up a little bit too much, and you could actually hear the bogies underneath the body or underneath the chassis there squealing, just like the real thing, but it sort of created a few little dramas. So what I've done is printed out some track templates using AnyRail. Now with AnyRail you can actually pull out your track pieces, put them up onto the screen, and then print them one to one, which I've done here. As you can see, what I've used here is Pico set track as a template. So there's one piece there, one piece there. That is their radius 4. What I've got under here, you can see the white, and you can see protruding under here is radius 3, which works out just to be under 20 inches in radius. So that'll enable these 60-foot box cars to roll around quite smoothly. Now you may see over this side here that it's going to tighten a fair bit through there, so I don't want that to happen. So I've removed these short lengths of rail between the point and the three-way here, or the two turnouts, and I will be moving this turnout up to meet the other three-way here, and that'll give me a far consistent, smoother radius onto this curve into the fiddle yard. So that's one thing I've been up to. I did have to play around with the other track over the back here because I had some form of a drama happening in between here. I think when I actually cut the rails, it left too much of a gap between the two rails on each side of the baseboard where the modules join. And what I found is, you know, I lifted the track, I soldered a new piece in, but I actually pinched this here, pinched the two rails together so they were out of gauge. Now I can desolder that and have a play with it again, but I thought, you know, rather than do that and fiddle around with trying to get all this solder off through here, I'm going to be taking this piece out too and replacing that with another piece of flex track. Just to be certain that you get your gauge through here correct, go out and purchase yourself an NMRA standard gauge. Now this one's HO scale, and as you can see, it's got these little marks down the bottom here, little teeth you could say, and they fit perfectly in between your track. Actually, if I bring that piece around through there like so, stand that up there, and it fits nicely. So one of these, when either handling your track or doing work like this, is a godsend. The other thing I'm going to show you is a few products that I've picked up recently. I've done a little bit of shopping with mini prints, and I'm going to show you those items that I've picked up. They are brilliant. The first items I have here are the garbage bags. Now you get 10 of these little 3D printed garbage bags. One's painted up, either black or a dark green. I'll have them scattered around maybe the back of the cafe and a few other places. Now I think they're brilliant, even with the little tyres up the top. I'm sure they'd look good on any layout, anywhere where you want to have trash. This next item is the trash cans and the lids. As you can see, you get the 12 trash cans on this fret and the 12 lids. Now they've got to be carefully removed and filed, sanded and put together. Now you can have the lids sitting there beside the bin, throw a little bit of trash in there, which could be a little bit of torn up paper, a little bit of plastic, what have you, and have the lid sitting sort of half on half off the can itself. Once again, these can be positioned around the layout, they can be tossed down along the rail side even, so another great print. The detail on these are very nice with the lids, the bin handles, even the fluted edges of the garbage bin have been done there too. Fantastic job. Shopping trolleys. I am most impressed with these. I mean, look at the fidelity in that printing. It is just superb. Now these measure around about 3/8 of an inch long, or 10 millimeters, and if I rotate them around you can see how tiny they are. They're about 5.5 millimeters wide, so not that big, but the detail is phenomenal. Now these will be found alongside the rail side, you know, where locals have just decided to push them off the side rather than return them to the shopping store. So once these are painted up with a bit of silver chrome paint, a little bit of rust here and there, paint the wheels black. I'll just rotate them around, flip them over so you can see the wheels under the bottom there, paint them black, and they'll look superb on the layout. Next up we have the IBC tanks. Now these, once again, like the shopping trolleys, the print is super fine. Now I don't know how I'm going to paint these, because generally the tank on the inside is almost a clear opaque colour with the steel framing around the outside. It's going to be interesting. I dare say I'll probably paint them all a off-white opaque colour first, then go around and just touch up the steel framing around the outside. These shall look superb around the industrial area, perhaps a couple on the landing there of the produce centre or the food processing plant. They should look pretty much spot on them. I ended up buying 2 packs of these. They come in packs of 2, so I've got 4 of them to place around the layout. Here we have the gas meters. I've just noticed that the one on the left there has got 2 parts broken off, but I'm sure a spot of super glue will put that back together again. I'll try and stand this one up on the right and you can see what they actually look like. I can see if I can hold it there for you. They are fine, they are small. I'll just hold it by the meter there itself. So there we have it there. I might turn that around, excuse my big fat fingers, and that's what you'd see from the front. Very hard to hold these, but yeah, fantastic printing once again by Bernard. One of these will be placed at the cafe alongside the driveway entrance, and another probably at the produce centre. Traffic cones, witches hats, whatever you like to call them, we could always use these on the layout, whether it's in a loading zone, loading dock, railway crossing, a length of road, highway, whatever. They're always very useful. That's why I bought these. I'll probably be using them around the oil terminal that I'm building. That will be located in front of the ferrous processing plant. Nice little models, and as you can see here, you can see they've actually been fluted, you could say, where part of the moulding on the witches hats is how would you say, divided into 3 with the base. So you got the base, you got the first section, second section, third section. They're almost like a collapsible cone in that sense. Nice little models. These stand around about, I'd say 6 millimeters height, and once painted up I'm sure they'll look great on the layout. Here we have the Gunzel, or rail fan slash rail photographer. I'm sure he'll look great on the layout once he's all painted up. Got his little camera in hand like he's focusing down the line, so I'm going to use him in various areas of the layout, you know, taking photos of the trains passing by. I think it'll just add that little bit of interest to any photography I do in the long run. Last but not least, the owls. When I placed the order, Bernard had a special on where, place an order, you'd throw in 4 owls at no cost. So I happened to get my order in just before the owl deadline, you could say, and received these 4 owls. Now I've turned the third one around so you can see that it's got a little tail on the end, but if you look at the second and fourth one along the line, you can see they've got their little feet where you can mount them onto a branch. So I'm sure these will look nice in a tree, even though my layout is not really going to be modelled as at night time. I don't have any extra lights on the layout. I think only one of my industries has a light, you know, like a dock light. We'll see what I do with these, you know. Otherwise I might just paint them up and hang on to them for another layout. Maybe one of my English layouts perhaps. We'll see how I go. Great little models. They look fantastic. I don't know if you can see on that second one there, but I can just barely see the beak, the little I won't call them ears, those little feathery bits that pop up above their forehead. You know, they look cute. They're not a bad little model. So I'd like to thank Bernard once again for producing these excellent models for us HO scale modelers. Look, they do come in other scales too, O gauge and N gauge. So I'll tell you what, I'd hate to be painting the N gauge models. They'd be tiny as. To those N gauge modelers out there, it's a credit to you. Anyway, once again, thanks Bernard. Thank you Mini Prints. It's great to get these, and I'm sure these few models that I've got, I've inspired a couple of people here in Australia to look into them, and one of the members on one of the groups I'm in asked if you'd done milk crates. Now in Australia we use milk crates a fair bit, and I tell you what, a couple of racks of milk crates would be ideal if you're listening, Bernard. So if you ever get that in mind and you want some photos or pictures, I can always send them to you. Anyway, I'm going to show you a few other little things I got that'll go into the layout, and I'll just dig those things out. Okay, the last two things I've recently purchased is both from Walthers, the piping kit and the tanker truck loading rack. Now both of these will be used along the oil depot, but the piping here I'll use to run down alongside the siding itself, and it'll return back across to some larger tanks. The tanker truck loading rack, I only plan on using this bottom section because I want to model one that resembles the one that's down in higher layer. Basically there's a siding just down the road and opposite the ferrous processing plant, and it's got a triangulated roof on it, some nice framing and all that. So the only reason I bought this kit is to use all this under here. Something that I thought, well, I could probably try and scratch build, but getting all that piping in place and everything, you know, I just thought, nah, you know what, I'll cheat, I'll use part of this and just redo the frame itself. So that's a project in the future to be done, and I'll cover that in more detail when I get to it. Anyway, look, that's a lot from the week, from ripping up track to a couple of new products, and I'm sure this will keep me busy for some time yet. No run by today because, as you can see where this is standing here, is where the corner module for the processing plant to sit. So anyway, I'll get onto this sooner than later, hopefully. I've got a few things to do this upcoming week. I'm actually taking some time off and have a family funeral to attend, but otherwise maybe not the next weekend, but the weekend after I'll progress a bit further along the layout, and hopefully we can get this corner module back into position, some of this work done on the tanker loading area, and go from there, and maybe even do a run by with the trains. We'll see how we go. Anyway, that's a lot for this month. Thanks for joining me. Thank you again for all the new subscribers. I really appreciate you looking in and subscribing. That means a lot to me. I must be doing something right, or maybe I'm just entertaining, who knows. But anyway, look out for me next video, hopefully early November, mid-November. You know, I won't guarantee anything because every time I do guarantee something else pops up. So anyway, as usual, take care, stay safe, and keep on modelling. Cheers, Gary.